Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to PWW Talks. And as you can tell, the sickness has hit me. Whatever the hell this thing has been, rumor has it is called Influenza B. That is what someone tested positive for this week and round and out. That is in my realm. So pretty much I was just like, so the flu. Not this Influenza B shit, just the flu. That's all that needs to be discussed.
It stinks.
So I am your host, Dan, and I am ever joined by my co-host of this program and best friend for over 20 years, Mac. Mac, thanks for joining the program this week. You also might have to carry the load at some certain points. As you can tell, my voice is a little haggard this week.
A little bit? A little bit. No, I'm pretty sure that I, along with everybody else that will listen or watch the show, can definitely tell that you are in dire straits this week. So we're a couple weeks out from Wrestlemania, so I thought this would be a good time to kind of see how everybody is feeling on the road to Wrestlemania a few weeks out, since next week we will talk about something completely different. And then in a couple weeks, we'll be previewing WrestleMania. It's getting close.
Oh, it's getting real close. We say this every year, especially after the Royal Rumble. We always just feel like, Jesus, this thing is a million miles away. And
creeps up on you, man. Creeps up on you.
This is the last episode in the month of March of 2026.
Yeah.
And next week it will be April. Unfortunately, we will not be able to bring you an episode next week. However, in 2 weeks, at least a live episode.
Right. Well, so we're recording 2 episodes tonight. Yes. We will release the second episode of tonight next week as regularly scheduled, but it will not be, as Dan said, more or less a live episode. So we might have some catching up to do.
We will have some catching up to do in a few weeks, but in a few weeks, you will also understand why.
Yes.
That we needed to do back-to-back episodes this week. And got to kind of go with a B-roll episode. It was interesting, the fact that it was in the city of Boston this week. Monday Night Raw was. Actually, I got a phone call. What?
I just remember my joke now that I had told a couple people.
I had gotten a phone call from somebody that I had worked with. It was actually a mother that I work with, and she said that her son was going to Raw and she was 16 and a half, and she was already kind of concerned because it was like his first time going with like friends by himself. And I'm just like, oh, it's just like a curious mother when you're going off to a concert by yourself. And she's just like, yes, exactly. So that was interesting hearing that now. I've reached that age where I'm hearing from parents telling me about their kids now going to wrestling shows on their own. It's like, oh, good Christ, I've gotten to that age. But yeah,
stinks.
Never thought in my wildest dream while hearing a promo between CM Punk and Roman Reigns that they would use a term that you might hear on, one of those websites that we're not going to advertise here. Like, of all things, of all words that CM Punk could have used in a promo on Raw, I was like, well, that's a first. That's a legitimate first. I've heard the F word. I've heard never that word. What the hell? What? Like, just that was really out of it. That jolted me for a second hearing that. I'm like, what? Really? Wow. Of all words.
Oh, that word. Yeah. It took me a minute that I remembered something I saw this morning because I'm going to be honest. I mentally checked out of that promo that night.
Yeah, no, right? No, I'm not going
to. The week before was a little bit better. And then this week, I just felt like it was a means to an end to kind of tease a reformation of the bloodline, which okay, but I don't care, you know. I
mean,
was fine with two baby faces. I was fine with a beatdown by one of them at some point because it was inevitable to happen. I didn't think it would be this week in Boston. I just didn't.
no.
Don't hate it, but I just wasn't expecting it.
I just
Well, so let's change gears for a sec, real quick. I feel that some of the builds are very lopsided, and I'm a little concerned by some of the omissions currently. So I'll give you just a couple of names. Obviously, number one seems to be Drew McIntyre, which may or may not be going to film more movies, which good for him if he is. LA Knight's another one. I don't know what this whole thing with the Usos is, and I don't care for it. And where the hell is Gunther?
well, the Gunther question has been they were going to work a program with him and Rey Mysterio.
Correct. And Ray got hurt.
Rey Mysterio suffered an injury. The LA Knight rumors. I don't know if he's going to be involved in something with the Usos because they've been teasing that for a bit. And Drew McIntyre, the Jacob Fatu thing, also seems to kind of be forming itself.
To a point.
Unless Drew is going to be taking time off. I don't know.
That's fair. And then there are a couple other ones too. And to your point, Jacob Fatu, if they don't do anything with Drew, should be on the card somewhere. This whole thing with the MFTs and the Wyatt Six, I don't care anymore. I've really lost interest at this point.
6 months ago, I lost interest.
Yeah, I would have said a couple of weeks at least to be nice, but you're probably right. Probably a few months. It's a very strange build to me. And the Gunther and Rey Mysterio thing, I've heard the same thing as you, but if Rey's hurt, have an off ramp somewhere. Get this man on the card.
I feel like Rey is always hurt.
I mean, the guy's up there, man, so I can't really say much.
But even when he was in his prime, so to speak, 20 years ago, he was still always hurt.
That's true. That's true.
I had surgery 5 times on my left knee. Yeah.
Goodness. The Dom and Finn Balor thing, that's probably going to happen at Mania too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. I'm okay with a slow build there. You only just kind of made that segue a week or two ago, so fine. It's some of the stuff, it's very strange. So let's jump into the 6 matches. I just did women and men's for this. So they just announced on Monday that it will be AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title. And we already know about the 2 matches for the Women's World Championship and the WWE Women's Championship, Stephanie Vicare and Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, respectively. I did not see a Michin heel turn coming, along with BFAB. I did not see that coming.
Well, I mean, the BFAB thing was kind of teased the week
It
before.
was at a backstage thing. They were in the background, yeah.
I heard a Michin thing may have also been teased too, so that was kind of being foreshadowed those at that point. I was not expecting the Michin kind of heel turn, but it does kind of give Rhea some more obstacles that she has to put up with just because of the fact that what is the one thing that we have always criticized with Rhea sometimes in these feuds? She's too dominant. It's like she's just going to blow through it. Now she's actually has obstacles and someone that is almost on equal playing field with her physically. So I feel like that tells a bit more of a story.
100%.
And it adds more drama to it. And gives Rhea, again, more obstacles, which is something she kind of needs to do.
It helps Jade, too.
Yes,
honestly,
it does.
because you can take the pressure off Jade on a week-to-week basis to maintain whatever she's doing by falling back on BFAB and Michin. So I'm okay with it. It's just I didn't see it coming, which I'm not going to hate that. And to your point, I do agree that Rhea's portrayed so dominantly that it's kind of hard to sit there and be like, okay, here we go again, But I think you have enough of just physique, at least speaking from that standpoint, with Jade and Rhea, that you didn't need it, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vicaire are going to do what they do. They've been doing fine, I feel like, running it on each other, so that's fine. AJ and Becky, I think everybody expected this anyways. I don't see a world where people did not expect that.
I feel like the Liv and Stephanie Vicaire thing is a little problematic, only because of the fact of Liv Morgan's win-loss record at WrestleMania. And then two, so that is going to play into it, because now it's like, well, if she loses again, that really kind of hampers her legacy, especially at the show of shows. And then on top of that, you have Stephanie Vicaire coming into this, and this is her first Mania, and she's going to take the loss. But then you can argue, well, she could take the loss because it's her real first one on the, she could do that. That's true. But at the same time, it's like you're sacrificing her momentum. But yeah, you can look at it. It's her debut Mania.
I don't think you're sacrificing much by having her lose to Liv.
No, I don't think you are. But at the same time, it's like, don't you wish kind of that they come in, that there's kind of a window for her to be able to win at Mania? Instead of just because
they're both in their early 30s, I think. So I don't think that's the case. I think Liv is established enough that she could take the L too, and I don't think people would be overly disappointed. I do, however, think that if you have one of them go over the other and do nothing with the championship or that specific talent, then it's a disservice to both of them to have them lose to each other.
That's true. Yes,
I think that would be my issue with it. But again, I don't know. Right. It depends where they go from here. If they have some impactful couple of weeks and both of them, state their case to the audience more or less in terms of what they're doing, then fine. But if they just objectively do nothing, which at times has been the issue, I feel like creatively, especially with Stephanie Vicaire, then it's just a disservice. Right. At the end of the day, win or lose, if you do nothing with her, it's a disservice. And you can make the same argument with Liv, not for nothing.
Yes.
But yeah, AJ and Becky, I don't care. I expected this anyways. I didn't expect it to be this week per se that it maybe we found out, but I don't think it's a surprise that they're having a Mania match.
Well, I don't think it's a surprise. Plus, at the same time too, this does kind of elevate the status and prestige of the Women's Intercontinental Championship,
right?
By having two all-time greats face off for it. Even though, in my opinion, I would kind of want to have AJ Lee challenging maybe for one of the World Championships instead of the IC Championship, but Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, I still do feel like that this should have been saved the opening match for WrestleMania. But what can you do? They wanted to do it in Chicago. They did it. AJ was able to get her win in Chicago. Even though she's from Jersey, she claims Chicago's her hometown. Go figure. And
no comment.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever, right? But AJ Lee won the title in Chicago, and it would have made more sense for Becky to win in Chicago under some heel tactics and go into WrestleMania, maybe with some sort of stipulation, and AJ Lee pulls the victory out and wins it and gets a WrestleMania moment. Now, it almost feels like that this is kind of the time for Becky to get her win back, and it's like, but does she really need it at Mania? Not really.
That's 100% the same thought I had. And I was actually surprised there was no Becky Hogan chance, because it would have been the perfect time to have them in Boston, not for nothing. But I do feel that if you're going to get the win back as a heel, it shouldn't necessarily be at Mania after you've lost to her 3 or 4 times at this point.
No, exactly. It's just, you lost to her at, you beat her 3 times already. You beat her at WrestlePalooza, you beat her at War Games, now you beat her on, and so it's like, why are we doing the fourth one at Mania? And this is now going to be Becky getting her win back? Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's a little crazy.
All right. Let's do that.
Yep. But yeah, I think we can just move right to the men. So it was announced 2 weeks ago. We did not cover this 2 weeks ago because we had other stuff to talk about. Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. And then, of course, we already know the other two matches for the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton and CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, Brock and Obafemi, this has a kind of generational feel. Next generation versus the past generation / current generation.
Yep.
Obafemi has gotten the better of Brock the last 2 weeks, especially on Monday, which somebody had pointed out to me. The crowd in Boston was completely behind Obafemi, which I was like, well, it's very telling in the city of Boston when that's happening.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, I think we're seeing a bit of a crossover here. I want to see Obafemi. At least I don't expect him to win at WrestleMania.
I don't either, actually.
But I expect him to do that. It is going to be one of those contests of Brock is going to make you think until the very, very last second that Obafemi is going to win this thing. And that's all really I feel like he has to do to make him look good, to make him look like a star. And he's already in the last 2 weeks, especially to Brock Lesnar telling him what to do after the first week, what to do, telling him step on me, stand on me, step over me, just like he did a couple years ago with Drew McIntyre after McIntyre hit him with the Claymore on the stage, and he's just like, pick up the belt. Brock gets it. And he's going to do whatever he can to kind of help Obafemi along. I don't know if you have seen, Brock Lesnar did a podcast this week where he was talking about youth hockey. Did you hear this?
I did not.
Yes. He was talking about how the game of youth hockey in Canada especially, he feels like has become more of a rich man's game, and now it's kind of got to be more equitable for people, to be able to afford it, to be able to get the kids into it, because it's not as prevalent as it once was. Youth hockey is down in Canada right now because it's become so economically challenging. So you have Brock Lesnar now speaking for hockey parents out in Canada. Who knew?
Well, I mean, he does live in Canada now, so I mean, it kind of makes sense for him to speak on that. But I didn't know that was a thing, that was a downturn in Canada with hockey. Who knew?
Yeah, who would have thought that? But especially too, because hockey and especially baseball is in a bit of a resurgence right now with the younger viewers. If just don't ask Michael Felger about it, he'll tell you he doesn't care.
It stinks.
Speaking of younger generations, the two main events at WrestleMania do not represent the younger generations. Every participant is over the age of 40. In fact, someone
40 or older. I don't
40
think,
or older.
I think Roman and or Cody are both just 40. I don't think they're 41 yet. So 40 or over.
40 or older. And on top of that, I believe the statistic was put out, or the fact was put out, that CM Punk is now the same age as Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania X8.
Who is CM Punk?
Yes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is insane.
Probably in better shape, although
Obviously.
Maybe not better shape, but better conditioning, I would say.
Better conditioning and better work rate for that matter.
That is true.
Even though you even have to admit that Hogan and Rock was probably the match of the year that year anyways.
Oh man. I mean, we keep saying this though, but we keep saying this though, and it's so really true, and given the context of what you're saying, it bears to repeat. They have an age problem.
On the men's side, yes.
Yeah, 100% on the men's side, they have an age problem.
They're not. Yeah, but also, people need to realize that they have a problem being able to put the younger generation in bigger spots because they're not moving the needle as much as these other guys are.
But you can't move the needle if you don't put them on TV.
I agree.
Not for nothing.
But here's the thing. They're going to look at it and they're going to say, Randy Orton moved the tickets when they, as soon as he got slotted in, that match moved the tickets as much as they did, not looking into the facts of, well, that's when you lower ticket prices. You had the 316 promotion going on. It wasn't the fact of that Randy Orton had been slotted in to face against, Cody Rhodes, and the heel turn had caused it. There were other economic factors that were put into that fact, plus also to TKO finally coming to their senses and the fact of that they needed to lower the ticket prices for WrestleMania anyways in general, because it was starting to make a critical economic breaking point for a lot of people. And the fact is that the creative coming into this show for some of these matches has not been, in a word, not good.
I mean, to your point though, and I'm not going to wax political or anything but like that, but prices on everything is going up, especially gas, right? So it's going to cost more to put gas into your car, natural gas, etc. So all of these are breaking points for a lot of people. So if you can't afford these things, you're not going to be able to afford a WrestleMania ticket. And even if you look at the economics of the tickets alone, I was reading today or some other point this week, I don't remember exactly when it was, but that there's this package for like getting on Cody Rhodes' tour bus or something like that. And it was like something like what, $9,000 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's crazy. So I would make the argument that the package deals that they provide, especially stuff like that. I know the meet and greet with Liv Morgan was in the thousands of dollars as well, but people will pay that money for the experience along with tickets. But if you're just buying tickets and you're talking tens of thousands of dollars just for the tickets alone to go for both days, I'd rather just stay at home. Like, I don't need a down payment on a mortgage or a new car payment or anything else that is going to be less expensive than going to WrestleMania for 2 nights.
Can you imagine if they did that for the Ultimate Warrior? Holy shit.
In a word?
You get to ride the tour bus with the Ultimate Warrior during that.
Yeah, it brings me into the back room of the tour bus so I can shoot some steroids with him. Yeah, no thanks. Come to the back and shoot some steroids.
Are they going to run me over with lawnmowers? Exit stage right, exit stage left.
I mean, dude, forget being gassed running to the ring. Do be gassed in the freaking tour bus, for Christ's sake.
Do you think I'm bigger than Hogan? No, you're not.
No, actually. Am I glad you beat him? Yes. Are you bigger than him? No. I don't know. What else do you feel is coming for the road to WrestleMania, though? If anything.
That's the hard part. Only because the fact, well, LA Knight, and they're teasing this stuff with the Usos and LA Knight. I don't want to see that. I really don't. If you're going to put LA Knight in something, I don't want him going up to do anything with the Usos, especially Jay. That was so weird the other night, like watching Raw, and all of a sudden Jey Uso is the one that's having to convince his cousin who can arguably one of the greatest world champions in the last 25 years, And he's out there, and Jey Uso not being one of the greatest world champions ever, and he's out there convincing his cousin how to smash CM Punk. Like, oh, just do it, It's like, fuck you. It's like he's out there trying to motivate the guy who was literally the champion for over 1,300 days, and you were world champion. Everybody knew it should have been a mistake. Like, everybody was just like, oh, but he's the one having to motivate his fucking cousin. Jesus. That was so
weird.
Out of sorts. Like, and that's what I felt like a lot of the buildup has been in general. For a lot of things going into this, it feels out of sorts. The fact that Gunther has been on TV in 3 weeks. The fact that, you don't have a set plan yet for LA Knight. You don't have a set plan for Gunther, a guy who just retired 3 Hall of Famers in the last year. Goldberg.
Right. And listen, Cena, like, from that standpoint, I understand why they want to do something with Ray. Just from that standpoint alone. But if Ray's hurt, have another option.
Get somebody else out there.
Dude, get Steve for a cup of coffee. Have Steve come in, have him stun Gunther, and nobody would give a shit. Everybody would be happy about it. Go home happy at that point. And listen, I know that's not Gunther's thing to really lose to somebody else, especially a guy like Steve Austin at this point. But at the end of the day, people would go home happy. And Steve would probably do it, like I said, for a cup of coffee anyways.
I don't even think, I think if they're going to bring in Steve, it's going to be next year. I
don't know. I don't know.
We don't know what next year is going to bring either, so to speak, considering the fact that we don't even know if they're going to be able to do another show in Saudi Arabia this year, so to speak.
Oh, this year? I don't think so.
So that WrestleMania next year could be in Vegas. It could be back in Vegas. We don't know that yet. A year away, a lot can happen in a year. But this year, so to speak, because trust me, the 6 matches that we know so far, some of them are really good. And then other ones, I'm just like...
But why?
Exactly. Like, Becky and AJ Lee, I don't give a shit. Sorry.
I don't either, because they've already done it 3 times at this point, like you said. But also, I knew it was coming.
I know.
You have to show me something different. And I said this the last time they did this, right? That if you're going to have a payoff, it should be a stipulation match at WrestleMania. So unless you're getting me a stipulation, I don't care right now.
Or it should have been Bayley versus AJ Lee, like something that we
should have
gave a shit about, instead of Becky and AJ. Which, that just doesn't have the same spark that it did 6 months ago.
I mean, listen, man. When they had that gauntlet match, I thought it would be for a match at WrestleMania. Not okay, next week you're going to fight Bayley.
Yeah, next week.
Like, what?
No!
Yeah. Especially when Bayley won. I'm like, I'm really happy for Bayley. She hasn't been in a great spot for the previous WrestleManias lately. This puts her in a great spot. But it's crap.
No. It doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Like, it does.
100%.
Like, it does. It does matter. She should be on the show. She's earned the fucking right.
It is your biggest show of the year. It is the marquee wrestling event of the year, regardless of their promotion. Sorry,
I get it. Maybe Becky isn't as annoying as she was 6 months ago. Maybe she's finally caught on with this character, right? But at the same time, I don't want to fucking see her. I don't want to see her at Mania. Put Bayley in there. Put somebody else in that spot. It's like I said, we've already seen this. We saw it in Chicago. We saw it in
what, 6 months at this point? 7 months?
Exactly.
We've seen it the whole time. I don't care.
We saw it at WrestlePalooza. We saw it in San Diego at Survivor Series. Yep. We saw it in Chicago. We don't need to see it again.
Yep. 100%. 100%. I'm curious about some of the other talent though, men and women. You know, you have the U.S. Championship for the women's, which seems to be going through Julia and Tiffany Stratton. Is that going to be at WrestleMania? You are not really doing much with the U.S. title at this point for the men's side either. Is that going to be at WrestleMania? Are they going to do Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes? Who the hell knows? I don't even care about the tag team championships right now. I mean, who knows with that? I mean, the Usos, Division. I mean, I don't care about either of those teams, but it is what it is. You know, there's just a lot of unknown. You know, what's the deal with Penta? What's his WrestleMania look like? It's a lot of unknowns with just the titles that we haven't even talked about. And we've got, what, 6 title matches? I think 5 actually. And then no title match between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Which, listen, I'm all for that match. But it's like, you still got other titles. You're not doing anything with them. So what's the deal, guys? It's just a very weird WrestleMania build so far.
I mean, you'd think it's still rather early. I mean, so it's like they still have time to kind of get their stuff together.
Is it though at this point? Because like let's think of this logically for a second. Like we're doing this show. It's what, 3.5 weeks away at this point.
About that.
Some of this stuff has been built 3 weeks before this. Some of them they're just building now. Like I said, the whole Dom and Finn Balor thing, that's probably a Mania match, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But again, like this leaves out so much talent, and it's a 2-night event. And historically, if you look at other previous Manias the last couple of years, it's maybe 5 matches a night. This year, I wonder if they're maybe going to put in more.
Well, I firmly believe that the Bellas and maybe Charlotte and Alexa are going to be involved. I did like last week, one of my favorite moments of recent WWE TV was a promo that the Bellas did with Alexa and Charlotte, where the Bellas took a spoon out of Alexa's, like she had like a sundae or something. I forgot what it was. And you just see Alexa just started to, almost ready to rage out. And then Charlotte took her spoon and put it in Alexa's. Almost like, I'm preventing this from going off. So, like, those two have been a real treat. Every week they seem to be doing something else subtle that's really kind of funny.
Right.
That makes me laugh.
Yeah, I liked Charlotte checking her makeup a couple weeks ago in the back of R-Truth's head. That was pretty funny.
And then the wonderful world of Danhausen continues.
You know what? Just let him host WrestleMania. Just let him host it. Let him curse everybody. I don't care, man. Just do it. So I want to ask you a quick question. The mysterious phone calls. Do we feel that those are just the voices in Randy's head, or is that leading to something? Do you think?
I've heard. Well, I mean, Ted DiBiase Jr. has now.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
There's that.
Oh man.
Arn Anderson would be a good one.
That would be a good one. That'd be excellent.
That's another one that's been thrown out there.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. But Arn Anderson, I think, would be a really good kind of reveal, kind of like an old...
that would be amazing.
An old ally. Plus, too, it just feed into that old dusty lore, you know? So there is that old adage of, you know, Randy bringing somebody else from his past to kind of help that situation out. So that, I mean, do they really need to add somebody for that? Only because of the fact, though, that I already feel like that people are already invested into it anyways, because it's Randy.
I think it would be good if it did.
It did. Yeah, I agree.
But at the same token, I don't think it's necessary, no.
It's not necessary, but it wouldn't hurt it either.
No, 100%. It wouldn't. Because it could be a lot of different people. I don't want to say that's a thing, but proven not guilty. Who's to say?
If it's Ted DiBiase, I think I'd be like, shit. Not just because of the fact that the last thing I want to do is for him to get more money. It's like, all right, fine, he got acquitted. I got that.
Yeah. His dad wouldn't be a bad one either. Cowboy Bob Orton.
No, that wouldn't be terrible, but I think Arn's better.
100%. I think Arn is a solid choice for this. 100%. That would be amazing, especially with the AEW history between him and Cody.
Yes. I just feel like that would be a much better fit. I mean, he could call Rick. He could call because I don't know what Rick's status is for AEW at this point. I don't think Rick knows his status with AEW.
Speaking of AEW, real quick, I heard that the rumor is the Ronda Rousey debut was more of a one-time appearance.
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
Hold it.
Well, that might have something to do with a combination of things. First of all,
right.
Tony Storm being out for the rest of the year with an undisclosed injury / might not be an injury. That's the rumors I've heard. And then on top of that, maybe a reaction that she got in front of the live crowd kind of deterred Tony from wanting to make a commitment for long term after that. Because she did not get a good reaction from the live crowd. It was very divisive. And I think that might have something to do with it not being more than one day, like more than one show on top of the Tony Storm injury. So, a number of things went into that. Maybe she even admitted, though, on her vlog saying that it was kind of like a big fuck you to TKO.
Like, she did, yeah.
It's almost like she's become Ricochet on the female version side of it. Of just
she's always been like that.
I'll show them.
She's always been like that, though. She's always been, I feel like it would have been vindictive towards people that didn't like her or people that she didn't agree with, whatever the case may be. I
want to like her, and she makes it really hard.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
I want to be able to like her only because the fact it's like, legitimate Olympian judo, and she was a pioneer as far as combat sports is concerned for women. But the problem I have is that she can't take an L and has a massive ego. Like, she thinks she's God's gift. And it's like, you're not. You're good, but you're not God's gift. And, it's not like that you walked on water before anybody else as far as combat sports for women is concerned. Maybe. It may have been the first real big draw, but that's it.
But at the end of the day, though, like, I feel like if I separate her MMA career from her wrestling career, I love Ronda Rousey. If I don't, I really don't like Ronda Rousey. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard to separate them now because she has kind of proven that she is her character and maybe kind of a jerk. Just going to say it that way for lack of using another term that I don't want to use on the air right now. But, that's just my personal opinion of Ronda Rousey. I think that if she was to not run her mouth, maybe, probably like her more. But, there are other talent that have done so. And I stopped kind of giving a shit about them too. So Ronda Rousey unfortunately falls into that category. But as an MMA fighter or martial artist, I think you could do not much better, honestly. It's just when she starts talking that I check out a little bit.
Yeah, that's become most of my problem with her. Especially too, though, with the way that she's, again, I wanted to try and like her, especially when we came into the wrestling business. I was just like, she has all the credentials in the world. If she's like Brock, she'll be fine.
But she is not like Brock.
She's not like Brock. Brock gets it.
Brock does
understands. Brock knows what he has to do. Ronda does not. Ronda still thinks she can beat everybody in a shoot. Maybe in the women's roster you can.
Well, I mean, she can. It's the problem is that that's not what wrestling is.
That's not the point.
Yeah, it's not just shoot fighting. It's
we know you're supposed to beat everybody. That's not the point.
Yep, 100%, 100%. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they flesh things out over the next couple of weeks. We'll definitely be watching, and hopefully by the time we review Wrestlemania, we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Oh, we definitely preview it in a few weeks. We'll definitely have more to talk about. So next week is Easter, folks. So I guess might as well be able to kind of do it here. We'll do it in the pre-taped episode, so to speak. But considering this is the first time I'll be talking to you live about live wrestling stuff, have a great Easter. Enjoy it. Enjoy the time off, the long weekend. And maybe when I see everybody back in a few weeks, things will look a little different.
Can't imagine why that might be. Can't imagine.
I can't say it completely, but I'm just saying that maybe things will look different. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep. It probably will. But if it doesn't, I'll laugh. If it doesn't, I will laugh my ass off.
No,
for a variety of different reasons, but still, I will laugh. But yeah, let us know your thoughts somewhere, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever. Let us know your thoughts about the road to WrestleMania. Wherever you find us, exactly. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you next time.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.